Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Have you ever felt that paralyzing fear of being disliked? Well, you are most certainly not alone. I think this is probably the most common fear as far as I have heard and seen. But the truth is, avoiding being disliked does not keep you safe. And I know that stinks. So we're going to dig into it today. In this video, we're going to tackle what it means when we are afraid of being disliked, and we're going to flip that fear on its head and show you how to break free from its grip. By the end of this video, you will have the key to boost your self-confidence, improve your relationships, move closer to your purpose, and embrace your true authentic self. Right? Are you ready to transform? Let's get started. So all too often we avoid putting ourselves in situations where we risk being disliked. We believe that we are safer tucked away in our happy place. My body used to respond in a very undesirable way. Anytime there was a hint of someone disliking me, or if I perceived someone was mad at me or upset because they believed that I had done something wrong, if I perceived any sort of just discomfort in them, I would experience a somatic flashback essentially. And of course, I would take responsibility for how they were responding to me. Right? My body would go into a fight or flight response. I would get tense. I would shake. I would have sweaty palms. My heart would race. My face would flush, and I would feel sick to my stomach. The fear is very real, and it literally can be paralyzing. For me, it would cause me to pull back. People were not able to see who I naturally was. I wasn't able to authentically show up. And for a time after that experience, I would have to put in a lot of effort into fixing my internal environment, bringing myself back online. In some cases, depending on how bad it was, I maybe even needed to take a nap, or would, if I was in college, I would skip school the next day, and just really pull within to try to recover from an experience like that. So unfortunately, this is a trauma response. It is very closely connected with complex trauma to have such a high sensitivity to being disliked. Yes, generally, most people fear being disliked, but it's even greater of a fear for us who have experienced trauma. Unfortunately, this fear of being disliked prevents us from reaching our full potential. And we don't even realize how avoiding dislikes keeps us small. But the fear is normal and it's even primal. So it would be unreasonable for you to expect yourself to respond in any different way, especially if you've experienced trauma. Right? When we lived in tribes, being disliked meant that we would be rejected, and that eventually could lead to death. If we were ostracized from the tribe, we would be deprived of protection and warmth and food and community, and that often did lead to death. Right? So it makes sense why we would have this fear and why it could be so paralyzing for us. But we don't live in that time anymore. That's the key. We have to realize that we are no longer there, right? And it's time that we start reprogramming our mind and our nervous system to work towards our authenticity and our purpose, right? So what that means is that the brain and the highly sensitized nervous system and the subconscious brain are driving us away from our purpose and from our mission and from our highest potential, because it requires risking being disliked. And so when we are moving towards our purpose, there's going to be a need to reprogram our nervous system and our subconscious brain to help drive us towards our authentic nature and our purpose, instead of pulling us away thinking that it's keeping us safe, right? So in the end, it ends up causing us suffering. If we believe that being disliked or the potential of being disliked is unsafe, then it drives us towards separation and isolation, again, playing small and ignoring our purpose. You were made for more. And I suspect that you and your soul are constantly yearning for or seeking for that something more, which is your purpose, and it is wholeness, and it is peace within your body, and the ability to move through life as you please without the fear of what everyone else is thinking or whether or not you might be disliked. Right? The belief that avoiding being disliked keeps us safe is dangerous. It is a threat to your potential. It is a threat to your ability to rise to the next level, right? What if instead you look at this belief of dislike, avoiding dislike as keeping you safe, and see it as keeping you stagnant? What if you embrace the possibility of disapproval and you unlock your gifts of purpose and potential by moving towards the thing you fear instead of away from it? The things that can only be opened up through connection with others are things like purpose, your gifts, your talents, what you are here to do, right? Your highest potential. We cannot achieve our highest potential without connection with others. And if we believe that avoiding being disliked is going to keep us safe, then we are going to miss out on the potential for connection, and also the experiences of putting ourselves out there that is necessary to see our gifts and our talents come online. When we have a subconscious belief that I have to avoid being disliked at all costs, we have to consider the consequences of always prioritizing safety over the avoidance of disapproval, right? Is the constant fear of being disliked leading to a fulfilling and authentic life for you? Or is it holding you back from expressing your true self, being seen in your authentic nature, and pursuing your dreams? Isn't it more important to focus on the plan that Source has for your life? Maybe even ask yourself the question, what is most important to you? What do you prioritize? Do you allow what people think of you to prevent you from realizing your dreams, your purpose, and your highest potential? The beautiful thing is that you don't have to suffer through those physical responses, right? The discomfort in your body that happens, that somatic flashback, the sweaty palms, oh my gosh, the lump in your throat, the inability to speak the way you want to speak, the loss of words, that is a trauma response. And it is getting in the way of achieving your purpose and dreams, but you don't have to suffer through that to be able to achieve your purpose and dreams. And the beautiful thing is, somatic healing therapies like trauma spotting really work. They reprogram your subconscious. They desensitize the triggers. They calm the nervous system so that you're not hijacked and you can move through this discomfort without losing yourself, without going offline, right? The slightest hint of dislike does not have to send you down the rabbit hole of being triggered and all of the extra effort that it takes to recover from that. Right? We can look at the beliefs and the thoughts that precede the body's flare up and reframe what someone's dislike means, right? So the meaning, it starts with the belief, and then it's the meaning that we assign to it, and then the thoughts that come from that, and then the chemistry that's flooded through the body because of those thoughts and beliefs and meaning that freak the body out and make us feel like crap, right? So what if instead of their look meaning that there's something wrong with you, what if it means there's something amazing about you? What if when you walk into a room and everyone turns their head and looks at you, what if it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you? What if it doesn't mean that you're weird or abnormal? What if it means that your high vibration is so palpable that you have the power and ability to shift the energy of an entire room and people want to know, what the heck was that? Right? What if the people who stare at you in public are not staring at you because of what you're wearing or how your hair looks, but they can feel a presence that is unfamiliar and causes them to pause? They just can't understand what's happening and they want to know why, right? What if people who are triggered by you for no apparent reason, this is a big one for me, they're triggered by your ability to be authentic. They're triggered by your commitment to love and purpose and integrity, right? What if that person responds to you because of what's going on inside of them and not because of you? Because the truth is, the way a person responds to you says very little about you, and it tells you a whole lot about what they're experiencing inside. And yes, it is normal to blame yourself. Toxic self-blame is also a common trauma response, but that doesn't make it true. we have a tendency to take on too much responsibility. It's responsibility that is not ours, right? So the first step in overcoming this crippling fear is healing the wounds that cause you to believe that there is a threat when there is not one. A person's opinion of you cannot hurt you if you don't give weight to their opinion, right? It is your belief that being disliked is unsafe that is causing your suffering. Don't give weight to their opinion when it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter to us, it can't affect us. We must heal so that we can focus on our own goals and not be distracted by other people's opinions. We have to be the one to validate ourselves and refrain from needing recognition or approval from everyone else out there. Everything you need is inside of you. What that means is you can meet your own needs. We don't have to rely on everyone else around us. Yes, in the end, connection is required, necessary, and very, very enjoyable when you learn how to heal so that you can enjoy connection with others. But ultimately, at the end of the day, in order to be able to create the things that you need outside of you, it starts by creating it inside of you. And you already have everything you need to be able to do that. We want to stop expecting everyone to like you. That is unrealistic. This is where the rule of thirds applies. 1/3 will like you. They'll be kind of indifferent. It's okay. It's not great. It's not awesome. It's just, yeah, sure. I like them. 1/3 will love you. Biggest fans. You're the most amazing thing since sliced bread. And then 1/3 will dislike you. And that's okay. It would be unreasonable to expect everyone to dislike you. But here's the trick. When you have unhealed wounds, you are going to attract to you the people who trigger those wounds. You're going to be attracting the people who trigger the fear of dislike. But when you heal and you attract the healed aspects of those around us, you will see 2/3 of the people actually like or love you. Right? So we want to really dig into those unhealed wounds and notice this fear of being disliked is pointing to trauma conditioning programming that can be healed through somatic healing therapies. This is how we remove the emotional charge so that there's no longer the emotion or the magnetism to attract that type of person to you. And it won't even matter if they are in your sphere because you have already taken away the meaning or the ability for them to affect you. So you have to ask yourself, who do you want to be? Do you want to continue to avoid being disliked, which also means avoid being seen, living in a small bubble of safety that you have created that sometimes could look more like a prison, playing small, hiding your light, hijacked by your body and your triggers every time a slight hint of disgust is sent your way? Or are you ready to heal? Are you ready to step into the whole and complete version of yourself? Are you ready to step into your purpose? Are you ready to expand and to create the life of your dreams? Most of all, are you ready to be truly free? Free in every sense of the word. Financial freedom, emotional freedom, freedom of love and experience, freedom of location, freedom of purpose. The choice is yours. Do you want to remain a hidden seeker, or are you ready to become the shining, purpose-driven light worker you know you came here to be? If you're finally ready to heal those wounds that hold you back, you have to join us. We have another round of the trauma spotting certification coming up. This is where you can heal and become a healer at the same time. You will learn all about trauma, the 8 common trauma responses, and the trauma spotting method. You will get 2 one-on-one sessions with me and 8 one-to-one sessions with a practice partner so that you can not only learn how to do the healing, but also receive the healing as well. We start in just a few weeks. For a limited time only, I will have a very, very low price point for a payment plan. So jump in the early stages before the price or the payment plan prices start to increase, which they will be doing so very soon. Otherwise, if you want to just work one-on-one with me, it is faster and more effective. You certainly can check out the trauma spotting sessions links below. All right. I love you, my friends. Move towards your fears, not away from them. Go shine your light. Take care. Namaste.